years ago, in an episode of Parts Unknown, set in Singapore, Anthony Bourdain observed a society so efficient it was described as a nanny state, where everything is beautiful, everything is organized, and nothing hurts. During one particular dinner conversation, one of his guests explained that women there are able to join the workforce only because they have helpers, maids who look after their homes and their children. One of his guests called this convenience the opiate of the masses. If you're curious, the opiate of the masses term usually used back during the day, where Karl Marx called religion as the opiate of the masses because it provides a temporary relief towards economic stress. So he noticed that while this helped free people up, it also made them helpless. One guest admitted her husband no longer even knew how to serve himself a glass of water. I realized that our modern obsession with convenience is often just a mask for laziness, allowing us to live comfortably off the labor of an oppressed underclass that we chose not to see. My curiosity about the massive distances our goods travel led me to investigate whether our effortless lifestyle has a backfiring impact. Though my research into global supply chain, I've realized that the cheap clothes that we buy and the exotic food we expect to have at our fingertips have been weaponized to keep the repressed underclass stuck in systemic injustice. Today, I would like to shed light on the invisible cost of our convenience and how we can reclaim our humanity. Our desire for things to be done for us relies entirely on the vulnerability of people in third world countries. In 2024, Sarah Butler, a journalist from The Guardian, published an article that revealed the fashion giant Shein found child labor in its supply chain. This is a devastating proof that we are dressing ourselves in the stolen childhood of kids who are supposed to be in school, learning, playing, not hunched over sewing machines. This exploitation does not end here. It extends deep into our oceans, where the suffering is even more hidden. Since the late 1980s, China has dominated the global seafood market, but this dominance is built on human trafficking at sea. So, an non-profit investigative journalist who constantly publish articles about the human trafficking at sea, called the Outlaw Ocean Project, exposed the squid fleet, a realm of modern-day slavery where men work in inhuman conditions for 3 to 4 years on the vessels without any regulation or surveillance. When you realize that China provides a third of the world's fish supply, it is actually far more impossible that you have not eaten it. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm just a student on a budget. What does a factory in China or a boat in the Pacific have to do with my lunch or my purchases? It feels like a world away, right? But the truth is, exploitation is not happening over there. It's sitting in our closets. The products of exploitation is in your closet and it's on your dinner plate. So we must acknowledge that our consumer culture is constantly fueled by our superficial desire to look better, to look the best in society. And this is an unaddressed behavioral issue. And it is a personal problem that we all share. We have been tricked into thinking that paying for someone else to mess up our food or prepare our clothes in a short amount of time, the cheap purchases that you buy on Shein or even in Shopee, is a luxury when it is actually a form of submission. To fix this, we must divest from fashion retailers like Shein that refuse to be transparent about their workers. Instead, we must reclaim our power as buyers and as consumers through buying local products, buying local produce from local fishermen and even local sellers who make their own product. Or even more better, if you can do your own clothes or make your own dinner. And By making this shift, we provide immediate protection for vulnerable workers who are currently invisible to us. That's just the deal. Right now, we don't see the consequences of our purchases because we cannot see them. We must demand that giant companies move toward true accountability. Children of this age are meant to have the freedom as much as we do growing up and simply be children. The fishermen on these vessels at the Pacific Ocean deserve exactly what our fathers deserve, which is to watch their children grow. The current global economy thrives on a person's desperation for survival. And sometimes our mindless expectations that things should be done for us allow these businesses to flourish. As we call for industry accountability, we must also take accountability for the lives taken just for us to taste salmon sashimi, fried squid ring, or to dress on theme for a faculty dinner. We are so overworked by our own daily struggles, like the rising price of fuel, the loss of subsidies, that we often forget a vital truth. The low price we pay for our aids on sale purchases is in reality subsidized by the oppressed. And the freedom we gain by having others do things for us can lead to a dangerous loss of self-reliance and a blind spot toward exploitation. Thank you.